What's up, weirdo? Shadetree Surgeon here. You know, I just went on like a 3,500 mile road trip on the Malaise era, very boring, very slow, transversely mounted twisted twin, the GO500 Turd Ferguson, the silver wing, and to put about 3,500 miles on that motorcycle. Yeah, I'm making Bilbo bark. I'm just talking, Bobo. He's excited. Anyway, after spending 4 days on that boring piece of crap, I love you, don't worry, I love that bike. It's time to inject a little bit of excitement into my bloodstream. Going from Turd Ferguson to the VMAX, baby, that's where it's at. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. Come on. Oh, oh, oh. Dude, I'll tell you, once that freaking V-boost kicks in, it feels like a two-stroke, dude. Oh, it wants to rip your arms out of your socket. This thing just wants to go. VMAX, baby. Master Blaster, move me faster. I really like this bike. Don't get me wrong, I love my old twisted twin too, Turd Ferguson, but Master Blaster right here, old toe cutter, the VMAX. This thing freaking moves. All right, headed up to Woven Water right now to grab a pint with the one and only, the mustachioed Richard Boom. He said he was meeting me up here for a beer. I don't know if he's going to be on his Gold Wing or on, and as fast as the VMAX is, on something much faster than the VMAX, his R1250 RS. The VMAX is fast, don't get me wrong, but it was still designed in 1982. Oh, he's on the Gold Wing. I could take him if I had to.
As I said earlier, up here at Woven Water, and I always like to get a Pilsner to start, and then I'll usually see if they got anything weird on, and then another Pilsner after that. And if you wonder whoever taught me how to drink beer, as I sit here with a Pilsner, and Richard Boom also has a Pilsner.
Full responsibility. No problem. I will be the instigator for that.
Oh, yeah. No, I actually remember it very clearly. So I remember it super clearly when I first started working with Richard of the Dirty Shame, but a young lad of 21 years old, and literally all I drank was Budweiser.
I was a young lad then, too.
Oh, 50, and Richard was a young lad of 54. And all I drank was Budweiser, and I remember him coming up and saying, you know what? That's just not going to do. Let's take you around the world. And back then it was nothing but Europeans, not so much craft stuff, even though we love it. But we did a bunch of Europeans. He says, if you drink all these beers and you still want to drink Budweiser afterwards, you just go right ahead. But absolutely expanded my mind.
And now Josh has evacuated all the way back to Miller.
To Miller High Life. Sorry, man.
Full circle.
Yeah. Well, you won't even be you ain't even the first person I disappointed today.
And then I was at Wicks on the River, Independent, this place.
That sounds like a way better Sunday than sitting at the fucking bar. Well, when you go out with me in Tampa, I always end up running into someone you know, but Richard runs into a lot more people than I do, all right?
And then it was Hoochie.
This guy can't go anywhere without running into somebody he knows, all right? We got Silent but Deadly up there, and then this loud thing over here. That's quite a pair rolling out on these two bikes. Although I will tell you, with its current freaking squared off rear tire and janky suspension and bad neck bearings, that Gold Wing will probably outhandle this VMAX and the twisties very easily. As we ride over to Coppertail, Richard's actually putting on a car and motorcycle show. This video is coming out this Wednesday. The car and motorcycle show is going to be this Sunday. It's a vintage car and vintage motorcycle show that Richard Boom puts on every single year. 100% of the proceeds go to charity, and it's a pretty neat one because if you've been to Ybor City, you'll understand how it's set up with the main drag on 7th Avenue. They actually block off the streets, and then they do the car show in the streets of 7th Avenue. It's really something special and cool because normally you don't get to walk up and down the streets like that. They only close them down for a few different parade nights over the years, and you get to close them down for this car show, and it's just cool as shit, man. I go every year. I've done multiple videos on it. I actually do a video on the car show every year. Anyway, if you have a vintage motorcycle, custom motorcycle, vintage car, classic car, anything like that, I'm gonna have all the info. There is a limited number of spots because obviously we're talking about a finite space here, so you gotta reserve your spot ahead of time. Yeah, if you just show up day of, there might be some tickets still available to be able to park your ride on the street, but you have to reserve your spot ahead of time because it's limited. So call ahead, go to the website. I'll have all the info linked down below.
Where'd you pick that thing up at?
Just some dude, man. I've always wanted one. It was $1,000. Oh, $1,500. I will tell you, I've actually put down more miles on motorcycles with Richard Boom than with any other human being on the planet. Yeah, when I was 21 years old, not only did he teach me how to drink beer, introduce me to good beer, but Richard Boom also, you know, I've been riding for a few years before I started working at the bar, but you know, nowhere near as seriously as when I met Richard. When I met Richard and started riding with him, that's when I really fell in love with motorcycles. Hey, we don't normally go down 7th because it's a little slower, but we're gonna roll down 7th so you guys can see it. This is where we do the car show. We'll put up bags all over all the parking here on 7th so people can't leave their cars here overnight, and this is all blocked off. So you got, it's really cool because if you guys have been to car shows before, if you got a classic car, you know, normally it's just like in a field or a parking lot somewhere, and you just, you know, maybe you have a cooler, maybe you have something like that. But here, you know, you got your chairs, you got your car set up, and you come out, you set up like right in front of a bar or a restaurant or everything like that. And it's just like a way cooler place to set up your classic car and hang out next to it than the normal car show is. And you know, you're not supposed to drink in the streets, but you know, I always do. So if anyone stops you and you say Shade Tree Surgeon said it was okay, I'll be like, I've never heard of that guy in my life. But you know, just brown bag it and I think you'll be all right. A way cooler spot to set up for a car show than most places. It's really, really something special. This is usually the epicenter of it here at Bad Monkey. We'll be, maybe we'll just do like the bike part of it down next to the Dirty Shame. That'd be appropriate, wouldn't it? And again, as always, here on the corner of 7th and 20th, like back here is where we're going to do the registration for all the cars that are going to be on 7th. And like I said, if you got a normal motorcycle that's not a vintage or a classic motorcycle, you can park it behind the Dirty Shame and come enjoy the show and have a beer. Well, a lot of people in Tampa know this, but a lot of people who don't live in Tampa would have no idea. But Richard Boone was actually one of the big reasons that import beer got brought to Florida and Tampa in general. He fought a bunch of legislation and laws that were preventing a lot of imported beer from coming into Tampa. This was like in the 80s, you know, when he first moved back here from Germany. Richard's first nightclub and first bars were in Frankfurt, not in Tampa, and he moved here in the 80s. Fought a bunch of laws and brought imported beer here, and one of the first bars he ever had, called the Brow House, that had, I think it had something crazy like 24 drafts, but that was like in, you know, like in like the late 80s, early 90s. And then of course the Oak Barrel Tavern, which is just, you know, infamous in Tampa legend. You know, you ask anybody in their 40s and 50s where they used to hang out when they were in college, and they'll tell you the Oak Barrel Tavern, which was owned by Richard Boone. All right, and from the man himself, as we independent Pilsner, would you get a night swim? Hey man, you know what? Craft beer, it ain't on Germany standards yet, but you know, we're better than we used to be here in America. All right,
so we just came down 7th Avenue, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to close 7th Avenue to traffic and empty the street. Classic cars, customs, you know, vintage, but especially we also want to do and increase the vintage bikes this year. And you guys out there that have got, you know, a great vintage bike, just bring it on down. And there's a registration fee, but 100% of that goes to a veterans charity, so it's kind of a cool deal. The load-in starts at 10 until 12, and then it goes until 4 o'clock, and then we have to open the streets back up, etc. But so we've been doing this for quite some years, and we do it just before Halloween in October, and a bunch of the participants said, why don't you do a spring show? So we did like 1 or 2 spring shows that worked really well, and then pandemic. And so we couldn't do it for a couple of years. So this is the return of the spring show. We'd like to have a strong showing. So if you got a cool car, a street ride, a vintage, a custom, you know, just kind of bring it on down. But also, we got plenty of room for bikes. The more the merrier.
Well, I'll have all those links in the description down below and in a pinned comment. So let us know if you're going to come.
You can go and, pre-register. Or you can do day of. We'll be right there. Load-in is at 20th going west. So if you,
I told him, just find the Dirty Shame. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll be there. And
we'll be there, and you can get a beer. Yeah. Until Sunday. Cheers, my man. We're going to drink beer in your honor till then.
Yes. Yes. So we will be in anticipation of your participation. In the meantime, we'll drink beer.
All right, it's the next day, and I'm once again being relegated to the Gold Wing while Shaylisi now takes her turn on the mighty VMAX Toe Cutter Master Blaster.
Why the toe cutter?
That was the bad guy in the first Mad Max. The Toe Cutter is what they called him. Yeah.
Because it's the VMAX?
Yeah, the VMAX.
Oh, no, it's the VMAXi pad.
Oh, no!
Yamaha VMAXi pad.
No, it's the Toe Cutter. It's Master Blaster. Oh, yeah, it also has no mirrors. I forgot.
Why'd you buy this piece of shit?
It was cheap. I wanted one. They're exciting. You gotta mean it when you turn. You just gotta lean harder.
Yeah, the VMAX will turn. You just gotta ask it really, really, well, not politely. I would be like, oh, the VMAX will turn. You have to ask it politely. No, you have to ask impolitely for that thing to turn. I'll tell you guys this right now. Here at Shade Tree Army, we live by one creed, one indelible rule: live to ride. Ride to brunch. Shaylisi wanted to turn on the VMAX after Cammy was riding it around because I don't think Shaylisi's gonna like it as much, but she does love the speed. I think it handles like a boat anchor though, so we're just heading up to Pickford's Deli. Me once again on the on the dad mobile over here, the mail order glide, and Shaylisi rocking out. She wants to call it the VMAXi pad. Not a chance. That's Toe Cutter, baby. Master Blaster. Make me go faster. As I always say, though, that thing probably hauls a lot more ass with a little 100-pound girl on it than does with my fat ass on it, but I still have fun.
What's your off the left?
Right now it is.
This bike needs to go on more.
I know. It needs help. You love it, right?
I'm trying to decide still. Back brakes are pretty fucked up.
Oh yeah, no, everything's fucked up. The front suspension's blown, the rear suspension's blown, it needs new neck bearings, it needs new tires, it needs a new ignition coil. There's probably a few other things too. But it still goes, kind of. It doesn't turn very well.
No, it doesn't stop very well either.
No, but it goes very fast in a straight line. Just how we like them, dangerous. Yamaha VMAX. Too fast for love, baby.
Yeah, too fast for love. That thing needs some love. We'll get there. I just wanted to give Shaylisi a chance to ride it around before we do a restoration on it. And I'm not going to do a full restoration on the VMAX, but I am going to bring it back to both safety and its former glory. Although, come on now, how safe could a Yamaha VMAX ever really be?
Speedometer's broken.
You just gotta feel it. Yeah, it doesn't need a speedometer. If you knew how fast we were going, you'd be scared.
Nobody wants to know how fast they're going on a bike with shitty brakes, blown out suspension, and bad neck bearings. Come on, you gotta put on your peril-sensitive sunglasses when you ride a motorcycle like that.
It will turn, you just really gotta push it. And it does, you really gotta lean hard to the point where you're leaning so hard to make it do what you want it to do that it feels like you're gonna knock it over, you know? It's not exactly confidence inspiring. Let me tell you, the key to any good brunch spot is beer. And they got draft beer at Pickford's now.
Look at your camera, bro.
I'm not going to do it. Like Shay says, this place gets better every time.
It gives me commitment issues because it's never the same. It's like, it's all really cheesy, but I really like it. The older I get, the more Florida stuff I like.
I know. You know, that's called the slow creep of nationalism. Except on a state level, so it's cute and kitschy. State pride is like nationalism for hipsters. It's fun.
Neighborhood pride, because I love it.
Oh, even better. That's really, really on the edge there. You know what? I've gotten a steak sandwich before, and sometimes I like to get something different. When I asked the guy who was ringing us up what his favorite thing was, he goes, a steak sandwich, of course. So it wasn't that hard to talk me into it.
Baby, come on. Delicious.
I'm also going to go ahead and say that I love that, you know, it didn't say it came with this, but having a side of pickled red onions, phenomenal. Listen, my motorcycle isn't fat. It's just chonky and has a big body, okay? A big, beautiful body. Yikes. This is, just Florida things, hot asphalt, as we slowly melt into the asphalt. Okay, let's get Shaylisi and Toe Cutter, freaking Master Blaster, aka the VMAXi pad. Let's get you home, because that gremlin bell right there is working overtime. I think she's gonna like it a lot more once it's all fixed up. That is a really badass bike.
Pickford's Always delicious, baby. That's one of me and Shaylee's favorite brunch spots out. Oh, Speed Racer. I don't know, maybe the VMAX is starting to grow on her. Grow on her like a fungus. Listen up, baby. In crust we trust, all right? In the meantime, now that we're full of brunch and a couple beers and a couple coffees, I like that. Beer and coffee, we call that the Cyclone, baby. It's the Twister. It's a roller coaster ride. Up and down and round and where she stops, nobody knows. Woo, let's do it to it. I'm feeling good.
All right, y'all. Got the old shop truck loaded up with all the Brapstar orders, and those are all t-shirts right there. I actually did a small restock of the shirts. So I did another little print run of the shirts, and there's all sizes available right now, just a few of them, and then they're going away forever. And, you know, then there's that thing. So who needs a pickup truck when you got a Gold Wing, baby?
All right, loaded up. I'm ready to confront the post office, the United States Postal Service, our arch nemesis. So I asked you guys to tell me what shirt y'all wanted to see next after the camp out shirt was over. And like I said, it's this last run, then it's going away. And I'm not going to say it yet, but I think I got a pretty good idea of what you guys want to see. Just judging from what stickers everybody ordered anyway. Yeah, thanks for being patient with me, guys. As y'all know, because I say it all the time, you know, I am not Buddy Bezos, okay? This isn't Amazon. So when all these orders go out, we pack them. We pack them by hand. We decorate every envelope, every t-shirt bag. Lacey packs a lot of them. The mysterious, marvelous Maria Mew and her monster trucks of mystery, Gravedigger and Bigfoot. Maria Mew helped us pack a bunch of orders this time as well. She was at the house till 4 o'clock in the morning, putting shirts in and decorating envelopes and stuff like that. And of course, you know, Courtney, old Dally Grouse-Kamite on Instagram, they help out a lot as well. So I don't know, it's definitely a team effort over here, but still, you know, I don't think no one's in any danger of getting a Brapstar next day deliveries. I'm sorry, guys. We're all human beings over here. Nothing is automated. There's no robots. And guess what? We do get to take piss breaks, okay? Bezos isn't in charge here. But every single order is packed with love and care. It makes me feel really good that when somebody buys something from the store, I know that I held that order in my hand. I saw it get put in an envelope or a Mylar bag for a shirt. I saw it go in there and I dropped it off at the post office myself, or Shayleecy did it, or Maria Mew did it, or Courtney, or any number of Cami Bay, any number of people who help us do this. So that makes me feel really good, and it's worth all the extra work in my eyes. I couldn't imagine just trusting a machine or a drop shipping company to send all of this stuff. Not when somebody's spending money. Someone wants to spend their hard-earned money on stuff that we have, on our stickers, on our t-shirts. I'm just going to never see it. I'm going to trust some machine to get it to you guys. Not a freaking chance, man. I could never do that. So it is a lot of extra work, a ton of extra work, but it's work, but I enjoy it. I feel good about it. It's not like I'm sitting there going like, oh God, I can't believe I have to do this. No, it feels good, man. I like it a lot. Okay, did I make it all the way with my big package on the back? Yeah, didn't even move. Gold Wings for the win, baby. You can definitely tell which orders that Shayleecy packed. All right, you weirdos, you're in the hands of the United States Postal Service now. All right, quick stop off at the old stab and grab, and that's off to Brapstar Garage. Nothing but the best, baby. Damn, that's rough when 20 bucks can't even get you a full Gold Wing tank. Dang, dude. You know it's bad when the working girls are making you fill out paperwork these days first. Dang. Okay, up at Brapstar Garage, a little later than I wanted to be because I got all the way up here, I cleaned up, and then I realized that I left my camera at home. So let's try this again. I've got a few different things I'm messing around with today. The first of which is this aerial e-bike. Now, if you were at the campground, remember the e-bike because everybody took a turn on this thing. You know, there must have been 100 different people rode that bike. It got crashed dozens of times. I told everybody who got on it to just absolutely rip ass on the thing. Hit it as hard as you want, throw it on the ground, do wheelies on it. So that thing just got absolutely abused by like 100 different dudes who, you know, are my size all freaking weekend. It still works, it still runs, complete transparency. That was sent to me for free. I've never taken anything like that before. I don't know, I just kind of like the look of it. When they emailed me, I do get emails asking if I'd like a
e-bike. You know, they get them pretty, I'm not trying to sound cool, but I do get them pretty frequently. I just never accept them because I'm like, what am I gonna do with an e-bike? It's not really my thing. And I don't know, man, I just thought that one looked kind of cool. It kind of looks like a little motorcycle. So I was like, okay, sure, I'll take that one. And the deal was that I had to review it, and they've been beating my door down because I've had it for a few months now, and I haven't done a review on it yet. And they keep asking me, because Chinese company, of course, they go, when's the review coming out? Are you gonna do it? I go, you gotta let me do things my way, okay? I got a very certain way I do things, and I'm not gonna release a review on a bike that hasn't been through the ringer. I went and I looked online into the different reviews of these bikes, and everybody reviews them the same way. They unbox them, they put them together, they ride it around, they go, this bike's great, here's the review on it, this is how fast it goes, it's so cool. Not a chance, man. What I'm gonna do with this bike is have it, use it all the time, let it be used and abused by all my friends, which I've already done and it's still holding up. And then I'm gonna take a solo camping trip on it. It's supposed to have a 70-mile range. I don't know if it's gonna get that with my fat ass on it and a bunch of camping gear on it. That's my plan to review it, to see if it can go on a solo camping trip, like a 70, 80-mile round trip, and you know, charge it in between, and see if it'll hold up and how it does. Because I don't know, when I look at an e-bike, I'm like, hey, that's a pretty cool thing to, you know, you have to pack small and pack all your stuff up and go on like a little one-night camping trip or something like that. That seems like a fun use for a little bike like that. So that's what I'm gonna do after it's been used and abused by all my friends. So before I do that, I've got to build a rack for it. And before I build my rack, I'm gonna unbox my tent. And this is gonna be practice. I've got my tent, I've got a bunch of Nelson rig stuff over here, because that's gonna be my tent for the Trans-American Trail on the ADV Sportster I'm building. So I'm gonna test out my tent and test out mounting my tent on the e-bike and building racks to support it on the e-bike. And then I'm gonna take everything I learned and then apply it to the ADV Sportster. So let's get to work. And this is now not only the, everybody gets to test this and beat it to death, it's now also the test mule for my tent and how I'm gonna fabricate racks for all my luggage. Okay, let's take a look at this. And I'll be completely honest, your boy Shadetree might have gotten suckered by some fancy advertising. That remains to be seen. Yeah, normally I'm not the kind of person who falls prey to like some slick hipster freaking very cool Instagram videos and stuff like that, but this time it happened, okay? I'm not even gonna try to deny it. I bought this with my own money, so if it sucks, I'm gonna tell you guys, it sucks. And I even had to pre-order it. That's something I never do. I don't pre-order. I pre-order a t-shirt, but not a whole thing like this. I had to wait like 3 months to get this thing. This is a Wingman of the Road, and it is a motorcycle specific tent. Instead of being Mylar or anything like that, it's actually waxed canvas, and it's supposed to be very easy up, very easy down, and the whole deal is supposed to just fit on the back of a motorcycle really, really perfectly, be a single man tent. Like I said, remains to be seen if I just got suckered into this thing with some fancy Instagram hipster freaking music and ASMR camping videos of other people doing it. But here we go, baby. The Goose Wingman of the Road. I thought there was gonna be more of an unboxing than this. I guess it's just in here. Anyway, this is it. I just needed to get it out so I could check it out so I can measure everything to it. So I'm not gonna unpack it just yet. That'll be probably in a different video, but you can look forward to, as honest as I can make it, review coming of this as well. It's a little bit bigger than I thought, but yeah, I'm already at the weight capacity for that aerial e-bike, which is 300 pounds. Definitely adding some more stuff to it. So we're gonna be pushing it to the limit, that's for sure. But I would say this is like probably like 20 pounds or something like that. It ain't light, but it's supposed to be tough. You know, this wax canvas instead of Mylars. Supposed to hold up a lot better. There, of course, is the ADV Sportster in question, for which this aerial e-bike will be the test bed. All right, the idea is that we're gonna take some of this stuff and it's drilled for a rack. I'm sure there's probably an accessory rack that they sell, but I doubt that the accessory rack is going to be big enough to hold the tent and all the stuff. And I'm also going to try to do some saddlebags back here as well. These holes will certainly do to mount something up. Well, we'll see anyway. This stuff is pretty strong. I'm not going to wait that much to it. This is going to be a one-day thing. So some very small saddlebags and a sleeping bag and a tent, which the sleeping bag and tent and sleeping pad are all included in that Wingman of the Road. So it's all in one. Oh, cool. That is gonna probably double as a backrest, which is cool. Do a little bit of measuring. Being that this stuff is made out of steel, I want to use as little of it as possible because it's not light. We're at about 25 inches across for the bag, and let's call it 14 inches deep, roundabouts. So I know the Custom way is normally cut once, measure twice. I'm gonna try to do this one the right way. And it looks like I might be able to, how long is this whole thing? I might be able to get both pieces at a 48, absolutely. I could make them the full 24 inches wide, but I'm not going to because I don't want that kind of weight. I'll make them 22 inches wide and we'll see how that works. Trying to make sure these things are even. As I start graduating from the Custom way and just not really caring that much, I got to start trying to make something that's going to hold up against the Trans-American Trail. Here, perfect. Well, I don't know about perfect, but close enough for rock and roll. Now let's mark some holes and drill some holes. Stands to reason I can mark just one and then drill the holes in exactly the same location on the other one. California quiet air compressor. Lights, let there be lasers, baby. All right, do the holes line up? You know, I'm trying to do everything right, but that don't mean it's gonna happen. All right, looks like I'm in luck. I managed to do one of them right now, so hopefully I can just stick them on top of each other like this and just make this one exactly like that one. Like Shelby's always telling me, it's all about the mock-up, baby. Don't be afraid to mock this sucker up. And a lot of times I was. A lot of times I didn't want to waste the time on mock-up because I was just like, oh, I don't need to do that. It takes too much time. It's a waste of time, blah, 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 all that. Well, I don't know if I've completely learned my lesson yet, but I'm doing a little bit better. 5 3/4 inches over here. And we got about 5 3/4 inches over here. All right, cool. We're lined up. Now I am gonna weld a brace in here. I'm gonna leave it bolted to here to use this as a jig so I don't mess up exactly where everything is going. But I think better safe than sorry. I should probably take the battery out before I start welding on this thing. Actually, now that I'm looking at it on there, I don't think I have to extend it out at all. I think that is going to be perfectly fine just like that. I'm just gonna weld a brace in here to support it, and I think that's a done deal, baby. Not exactly the straightest line, but I'll use my imagination when I'm using the cutting wheel. Incredibly ostentatiously luxurious, but let me tell you what, having a grinding wheel and a cutting wheel on 2 different grinders is freaking amazing. Absolutely worth the investment. And every time I use both of them, I just pat myself on the back and I say, good job, John. Not exactly straight, but that's why I have another grinder with a flat wheel on it, right? And back to the flat wheel. Luxury, baby. Alright, well, I wouldn't say they're perfect, but, you know, it's gonna work. It's gonna work just fine. I'll leave myself enough room to actually put a tack on it here. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do next is, even though I have this tack welded on, I'm not gonna finish it. I'm gonna tack weld the other side in too, because what I learned from when I was welding my chopper together, I don't know a lot about welding, but I do know this. When you start welding stuff, it heats up and it contracts. It just pulls everything together from the heat. So I don't wanna mess this up. So I wanna make sure they're both tack welded into place and holding it steady. All right, now I can finish welding it up. Not a welder. I own a welder, but I am not a welder. But as the old saying goes, a grinder and paint make me the welder I ain't. Watched a couple how-to videos with this welder. And so this flux core stuff like this, and you know, it may seem tedious, but this is the welder I have. So like this, cleaning it up every single time is kind of, if you want things to stick, that's kind of the way you got to do it. Yeah, it looks like garbage, but who cares? Like my grandpa always said, if you can't tie a knot, tie a lot. Just like high school, good enough. Okay, that's pretty ugly, but it's gonna hold. All right, phase 2, now that I have the sleeping bag and tent thing set up. These actually have kind of a cool story behind them. A subscriber sent me these in the mail like a long time ago, and he sent them to me with the promise that like, hey, I'm just gonna give them to you, with the promise that if I didn't use them, that I'd pass them along, like pay it forward. You know, I've almost gave them away a few times. A few times I've come really close to being like, okay, this person, pass them forward to them, but it ended up not being right. But I'm glad I saved them because now they're going on the aerial bike, or at least I'm gonna try. So the idea is that I'm gonna take, these are stock, like for a Sportster or FXR maybe, these are stock saddlebag support. So I'm gonna see if there's a way I can make these work on this thing by screwing them in, and that should work with those saddlebags, I would think. Y'all, I think that this is I think it's gonna work great. We'll see how the weight aspect does on it. Like obviously for a one-day camping trip, these have way more capacity than I need to take. So the idea is gonna be to not fill them up. Basically, I'm just gonna take food, cooking equipment, and like a chair or something, or maybe a change of underwear. I don't know, something, maybe a little rain gear. I don't know, we'll figure it out. But I'm not gonna put much in these because if these were loaded to capacity with the Goose Wingman of the Road on there as well, I think that this poor little bike might not get very far on its charge. And I've decided not to use these brackets because there's nothing wrong with these brackets, but what I didn't realize is that they're offset like that to be able to fit on a Sportster or FXR. I'm not sure which one they're for. So since they are offset like that, it doesn't really work to bolt it to the frame of the bike here. So, and I don't want to ruin them. So I don't want to break these or ruin them because there's nothing wrong with them at all. So I think there's a better solution, but even as it sits, I think that there's just a better solution that's going to be way easier. But this is pretty much how it's going to be set up. Well, with the sleeping, or the tent on it too. Dang, dude, look at that. Now it looks legit. When you look at it from back here, you're like, hell yeah, adventure time. And you walk around here, you're like, oh, e-bike. All right, we'll see. I mean, with these lightly loaded down here, I don't think it's gonna be too bad, but obviously I'm gonna see what kind of charge I get fully loaded up with everything that I'm taking and just run it around town and see how everything does before I take it on the trip. But that's gonna be pretty soon. You know, in a pinch, a bay door serves as a perfect place to hang something and paint it. Now we're about reaching the end of the video, like I was telling you guys earlier, and I've actually already got something set up, something figured out for the saddlebags, and that's gonna about do it for this video. You know, just gonna paint, hopefully not spray paint all over my camera. Okay, let's move that out of the way a little bit. Maybe not directly in the path. I know that the whole e-bike thing is not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. That's all right, you know. I know it's not everybody's gonna like it. That doesn't bother me. For me though, there's just something really always a lot of fun about trying to do the right job with the wrong tool. I don't know, man. Just the idea of taking an e-bike camping with like saddlebags and a tent and everything like that, it sounds kind of neat to me. And trying to do like reach the maximum range that it can go to and making the saddlebag brackets myself. Like, I don't know, man. It seems kind of fun. So I'm gonna do it. And I know that, you know, that video probably won't be like heavily watched. A lot of people will skip that one, but you know, what I always say, man, if YouTube isn't fun and you aren't doing things that you find personally fun to do, then you're not doing it right. And I've always had fun making videos. Until next time, y'all, keep it weird.
sunshine, lollipops and rainbows. Everything that's wonderful is what I feel when we're together.